welcome back to another episode of Moments with Adeola. I'm your host, Adeola, and I'm so excited to be here today. This episode, it is very special to me and it is very nostalgic for me. And I feel anybody who went to my school is going to have the same feeling that I am having as I'm recording this video because I am so excited. In my school, we had teachers and we had people who made it an intentional mission to connect with their students and to impact their lives. And I have one of those people with me today. She was a teacher when I was in school and later became the principal when I was in school. I am so happy to introduce to you Mrs. Niniola. Thank you very much for coming today. I'm so happy to have you here.
Good morning. I am also happy to be here today. Nostalgic, as she said it, Adeola was one of my favorite people. And I'm glad to be here with her.
Yes, and Mrs. Niniola was one of my favorite people too. But I was really determined that when I started this show, I was going to interview her because she played a big role and she's a big part of my life. She still is a big part of my life. And thank you so much for everything you did for us.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So starting from the beginning, you are one of the most loved teachers in the history of that school. And I just want to ask you, what do you think people connect with the most about you? What do you think your students love the most and what they connect with the most about you?
I believe I have a God-given gift of being friendly with the younger generation, right from when I was young, even before I became a teacher. So when I became a teacher, I was very close. I've always been very close to my students. Before I got married, after I got married, when I became principal, all through my career, I have this connection with the younger generation because I look at them as friends who need to be heard. And I decided to put myself at a level where they could talk to me and I could listen to them without judging them. So I believe that is my...
You worked with young people for so long. What was your philosophy in dealing with them and helping them grow?
Like I said, the first thing was listening without judging. A few months back, I think maybe 2023 or 2024, there was this slogan of, we listen, we don't judge. Despite the fact that it had a lot of negative impact at some levels, it was like a philosophy that I had imbibed quite from the start of my career. I was a teacher for 33 years. And right from the beginning, I believed that you listen first before the conclusion. Sometimes, because I'm not perfect, I fail sometimes, but that is the best of the philosophies that I imbibe, to the extent that even students who offend feel free to tell me the secrets, knowing that except I have their permission, it does not leave me. And that drew many more, or quite a large number of them to me.
You said you were a teacher for 33 years.
Yes.
So let's talk about being in the classroom. What was your favorite thing? What was your favorite part of being a teacher?
My favorite part of being a teacher is teaching a class of students and then getting what I'm trying to impact. And then, the way for mathematics, I taught mathematics and further mathematics for at least of the 33 years, I taught it for about 31. Because at a point I had to stop teaching as principal, although sometimes I still used to go to the classroom as the principal. But what I love most is when the students understand, despite the fact that further mathematics is quite, to some people, difficult to understand. For me, my joy is when the students understand and I try to evaluate them and the evaluation results come out positive. When the children are successful, I'm on a high.
And when Lisa became principal, what were the values that you wanted the school to be known for?
I wanted the school to be known for being approachable. You see, when you have stakeholders in an environment, and all of them can work together without friction, then that's the best. So before I became principal, one of my main goals, which was what I strived for as a principal of the school, is to be able to relate well with the proprietors, relate well with the parents, relate well with the community, and even the government, because there's no way the school can survive without the government. So I tried my best to have a relationship with the exam bodies, with the ministry, with the parents, the children, everybody, to feel comfortable enough to be able to walk up to my office and believe that to an extent or to 99%, let me put it that way, of the time, get a positive response, whether it is what they wanted or not, but to be able to live satisfied. And to the glory of God, I was able to at least relate well with most. I can say that God helped me at that level.
Yes, that's wonderful. I know that one of the things I loved most about you when we were in school was your ability to be involved in everything that we were doing. I remember when I was in SS1, we were supposed to be having inter-house sports, and you were vice principal then, and I still remember how involved you were because we were in the same house and like planning all the running, the match past. You were just like, this thing has to be good, this thing has to be good, despite having other things that you had to do as vice principal and as a teacher, but you were still involved and you made sure that all of us in the house, as many as we had fun doing what we wanted to do. So one question I want to ask now was, what was your favorite event? What event did you always look forward to?
You just mentioned it. I love sports. Even as principal, and I was houseless because I had to be in all the houses. I still made sure that I was on the field throughout. Even when teachers had gone back to their classes during the heat, I try my best to spend some hours on the field. Then when the school has friendly matches, I always go to the field, because I actually love sports, because it's I believe that sports is a program that brings everybody together, no matter who you are. The diversity gets thrown out.
Yes.
And then all of you come together with the competitive spirit, the fighting, the settling, and then you just enjoy yourself, the fun in it. So it's one of my favorite things while I was principal of the school.
Yeah,
and even as a teacher in that school, every sporting activity from when I was a young teacher till I left, I wanted to be a part of it. Despite the fact that I don't do it, but I love sports.
I always loved inter sport. I always enjoyed it, and that SS1 inter sport remains my favorite because you were there and we're in the same house. And
yes,
it was so much
we
fun.
rocked it.
Yes, we did. Over the course of your career, I'm sure you've had like a lot of students, a lot of incredible students.
Yes.
Is there any one student that their journey has really made you proud? Like it has really touched you?
Wow. They're too numerous. Different, some, because the span of years is so wide. Even from where I taught before I came to the school where I last served, from there I had some experiences. Maybe I can point out the story of a particular student from that school. I have so many remarkable, because I spent close to 28 years where I retired. But maybe I should point out to the school where I first spent 5 years. I had this student called Paul. He was my further math student, and he was from a very, very poor home. Very, very poor in the sense that from his school uniform, I didn't know his parents. But from his school uniform, you will see that these people cannot, they're just struggling. The cotton white shirt was already very thin. The trouser was frayed and short. But this boy was my best student. And it was a challenge I think he was the one that trained me as a teacher.
Wow.
Let me tell you why I said he trained me. I cannot enter the class unprepared because I was a young teacher there. I think I taught him I taught him from SS1 to 3 for the maths, but I think it was in my second year as a teacher. If I go to the class unprepared for this boy, the boy will floor me. So what I do is we used to use additional mathematics by Godman as our reference text then. I carry the book in my house and I practice and practice and practice because I don't know where the boy will come from. So I had to do that throughout the 3 years that I taught him. But my joy was that on the day of graduation, for every single subject that boy wrote, he was the best.
Wow.
And for a student that you are sure struggled financially to go through school, it was a plus. And he ended up in one of the premier universities and studied medicine. So I can't forget that student because of the joy. I lost touch with him right from when he left my school. Only heard about his admission, and I don't know what he does now. I don't know where he is now, but he is a memory that lingers even after over 30 years of meeting him. When you talk, I have other students, but they are too numerous to mention. It's just that the peculiarity of the story of this young man makes me remember him all the time.
I like that. That's a student that did not let his background stop him from achieving what he wanted to achieve.
He didn't look at the fact that they were making fun of him. That look at this, what's this one wearing? Or he didn't look at
children can be very brutal.
Yes, they can be, teenagers especially. Yeah. And he didn't allow that to phase him. He just had this focus, maintained focus, and excelled.
Yeah. So you've taught generations of students, different generations of students. What would you say has been the difference you've noticed from the first generation you taught to like now students?
Wow, very wide. Very wide. Like I said, I had to study to go to the class. Then, for this generation of students, just walk into the class, blow English, they will follow you, even if you are wrong. The only thing is that for them, for this generation, they have a wider room to operate. But they have a constraint, which is the constraint of distractions. So the distraction, they have more distracting them now than then. There's information overload. And the overload could be positive and negative. Even aside from the day-to-day secular or outside academic life, the overload is there. But even academically, they have access to resources. Sometimes the resources can be distracting for them. Today, students don't read their textbooks anymore. Some don't even read the notebooks, that the note that the teacher took time to harvest materials from different texts to put together from different sources. They don't bother. What they carry about is their maybe an exam practice book, and that is all his students studies now. And it has its disadvantage. And then because of the way exams are now, they don't have to go into details for them to pass, which has an effect on the lack. It doesn't look too obvious, but it's an effect that you notice when you get out of the system. Of course, what is expected of students of then is different from what is expected now, because today's world is not dependent on the four walls of the classroom. Yes. But still, there are some things that are essential that still need to be imputed in the classroom, which is missing now. So that's the difference. Okay. Things are not as intense as they used to be. So you can't really pick out those who are actually very good in today's system. You can't pick it out like it used to be.
Okay. A question just dropped in my mind now. I recently heard that they want to start adopting CBT exams for secondary school students.
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
I don't like it. Because even in the university, where we would have went through, although we said that what you learn in the four walls can be limiting, but I feel that combining what you learn in the classroom with what you learn outside the classroom makes you a better person than demolishing the system in the classroom too. Because if a child studies well, and that is what some countries still do, so some countries are still intense in the classroom work. At the same time, they go practical. At the same time, they still allow their children to bring in what they learn outside into the education system. But here we are trying to water down what we already had. We already saw it in at the junior level. Initially, at the junior level, the children used to sit for 80 objective questions. Then they will write theory questions, probably answer three questions. Yes. Then later, they just turn some subjects to purely objective questions. And from then, the junior level had a decline. Now, taking it to CBT is still going to lower it further because you cannot judge a child's critical thinking, which is essential in education. You can't assess that anymore when all you have to do is just pick answers. Anybody can pick answers, and that is why some students get into the university and they drop off easily because it is a matter of they pick this and pick that, and luckily God helped them and they are able to get in. But they can't maintain they don't have the knowledge, the background knowledge for it. And that is the danger in the CBT. The CBT can be used, but has to go alongside allowing the children to express themselves in thinking critically and writing out their thoughts properly. Then you are able to assess the level of knowledge of the students. So that's my view.
With everything now, so what do you think students struggle with currently the most?
Like I said, that information overload is a major problem. And as a result of the information overload, exposure to negatives. I know that there's a challenge with the youth now, and it goes as low as even 10-year-olds. One challenge is drug abuse. It's so rampant that I don't know how we can curb it, because some people have taken it as part of their social life. When you in your house, you have the shisha generator in your house, and you have toddlers in your house. They see you puffing, and online we see children puffing alongside their parents. Already, the availability of drugs and the knowledge of what it takes to have to be able to get yourself high.
Yes.
It's already available. The information is there for all to see. That is one. The second major one is the betting system. The betting system and the gambling system has so derailed so many young people, even at secondary school level. Let's not even talk about pornography. Let's not talk about other forms of immorality. Those two, even for those who don't go into that area, but these other two, some don't even know how dangerous it is. But I have seen a marriage of under 1 year break up because the husband is a druggie. He has a very good job, very high paying job, one of the best jobs you can get in this country. But because of drugs, he's not able to manage himself. The millions he earns, not able to manage himself. He's not able to manage his home. Already has a child, but no management, and his life is in shambles right now. Of course, going back to the parents who maybe negligent or not, because sometimes you don't know. You don't know that's why it is necessary for parents to be very close to their children,
Yes.
because the parents might not know, and the child would already be a part of the people who can give and they can sell anything, sell something that is worth millions, sell it for 50,000 just to buy a drug of 6,000 naira, that they are so high to judge anything. And that is the system now. Most regular people that you see on the street are taking one drug, they are involving themselves in one drug habit or the other. So God help us.
God help us. I like what you said about parents, because I also feel parents need to be able to create a friendship with their child so that their child can trust them enough to share things with them.
Yes, very essential.
Now that you are retired, do you miss teaching and being in the classroom?
I did. I do. But maybe thank God for the 3 years that I wasn't in the class fully. It helped me to adjust, but I actually do. Even as a principal, I missed teaching, because it was what I really put I wasn't meant to be a teacher. I just stumbled into it. I'm a statistician. I stumbled into teaching and I never left. And I really enjoyed it. It became a calling for me. I look out for students excelling. It became my passion. So I do miss it, but I have served humanity that way. So I may never go back to the classroom except at a small level. But I do miss teaching.
Do you still keep in touch with your students?
Yes, I have quite a number of them, even from as far back as the school where I worked before. In fact, I have some that are like friends.
Wow.
I have a young lady somewhere who is married with, I think her children are almost getting married too now. She was my student. The age difference then was about 3 years. She's my friend till today. So I keep in touch with them, even as far back as the 90s. Those that I taught in the 90s and those that I still taught in recent years.
So you've impacted so many people, both students and colleagues. So what advice will you give to students of today?
My advice to them is that they should try their best to avoid distractions and know that, despite the fact that there's a slogan going about, education is scam. Education is not scam. Education is not scam, because when you have to stand with your mates and you cannot hold yourself, that is when you know. I was fortunate to be at the 40th anniversary of my set. I graduated secondary school in 1985. So we clocked 40 this year. And I was opportunity to be at a program on Friday, the celebration program. And one remarkable thing that was there was that all of us were able to relate very well and communicate very well. So one of them told me a story of a wedding they went for in Lagos. That when they got to Lagos, just about 20 out of our classmates went for a friend's wedding, one of us in Lagos. She said the younger generation just kept on looking at them. And then when they couldn't hold it again, that is the generation of the bride.
Yes.
When they couldn't hold it again, they went to meet them. They said, Grandma, we have been looking at your group, the way you are relating, your spoken English, the way you are in. So the necessity of education, you can't throw it away. So it's important. Please, no matter what you want to do, receive your education and add whatever you want to add to it, add it to it. It is very important. And then please remain focused, be drug free, and gambling is a no. Gambling, that is my own view. Betting and gambling is a no for me, because I've seen it destroy people.
And for people who are just starting their careers in teaching, what advice would you give them?
Teaching is all about impacting lives. It's not about being there with the hard face. The teacher should just calm down. Like that boy that told his mommy mommy, calm down. The teacher should calm down and develop a relationship with the students in their classes. And note that the children are varied. They are varied in character, varied in upbringing. They should learn to understand the type of child that they have to work with so that they can give the best to that child. And like I said, with parents, that parents should be friendly. The teacher should also put themselves at a level where students can walk up to them and confide in them, even what they cannot tell their parents, because that helped me. I had students telling me what they couldn't tell their parents. So they should just try to imbibe them that and make themselves open for these children to be able to approach them.
Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you so much for the lights you've shared today. And thank you so much again for everything you've done for us in the past. We, your former students, are grateful. People often have this stereotype about math teachers, and math teachers are usually wicked, but you are like the kindest person I know. And I'm so happy to have you in my life and to have a relationship with you. So thank you so much, Ma.
You're welcome, my dear. God bless you.
And thank you everyone for watching this episode. I hope you've learned a lot from Mrs. Ninyola. She has taught me a lot, and I'm so happy that I was able to bring some of her knowledge here for you guys to learn from. Thank you so much for watching this episode. I would see you in my next episode. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with somebody. Also subscribe to this channel and turn on your post notifications and follow me on my social media. Thank you so much once again. I'll see you next time. But until next time, stay kind, stay grounded, and keep shining.